Well, howdy, modelers. This is Alan RDA Scale, and I was going to show you guys a couple things that I picked up at the hobby shop today. One of these was my American Hobby Distributors RRAMP meter, which is a model railroad DCC. It's DCC, AC and DC voltmeter. Right now I've got her hooked up to one of my side rails here. When I first put it on there, it was showing about 13.6 volts, and kind of dropped down. It was showing 2 amps. And over here on my power cab, it shows that I've got 0.08 amp is what it's showing. And I've got it hooked up like this. When I put the meter on the rail, you can see my finger, I put this here, I put this side here and this side here. If you look right here, I put the where the red lead's coming out, I put it right here. I put the black lead right here, and that's exactly how I got it set it up right here with the cord, so you can see it on, because trying to sit there holding it onto the track is not always easy. So I got the black lead here and the red lead here. I'm still kind of learning on this meter, so if some of you guys out there that's watching my video have this meter and you've worked it before, if I've got it hooked up right, I'm assuming I got it hooked up right, because like I say, the voltage that it's showing is 13.8 volts, and it's showing at 2 amps. And this is how I got it. I don't know if it matters if you have like the red lead over here and black lead over here, or like I've got it. I mean, I just put it on there, or when I put the red lead here on the inner rail and this on the outer rail, I'm doing basically the same thing here, because if you look at the plug-ins there, you're going to see a red plug-in there, and you're going to see a black plug-in there. So that's kind of how I set it on there. So there is one thing I do see on this meter here, and this is an RRAMP V3 innovations for DC or DCC, sorry. And this particular meter, I don't know if you can see it or not, or I might have to kick on the light. There you go. This particular meter, and it might be making it go kind of nuts, but this particular meter has a switch, and you can see the switch right underneath where the meter deals are, or you can possibly see it right there. I don't know if that has to be switched from where it's at, in that position to the other position. It didn't really say. Like I say, I'm just trying to learn, a little bit about it. So if you guys know something about it that I don't, I mean, I've been using a Innova. This is the meter that I've been using here. This was my Innova 3320. That's what I was using there, and using it on DC, on the DC volts. That's what I used on there. And showing, like I say, it's got 13. I mean, it's kind of curving there a little bit, and I guess it's because of the video. It's got 13.7. If I hit the horn, it drops down to 13.6. I don't know if that changes on there. Yeah, it does. That changes from that there to the 0.8 amp to 14. So, and it was at 2 amps, and now it's down to 1 amp. So that might be because Well, I've got 3 engines on here. I got 9088, 9066, 9041, all with lock sound. 9041, 9066 I just got today. And I'll tell you what, I ran them just a little bit, you know, just to give them a small, let them do a small test deal, and I'm gonna let them test some more. But just running around, letting them run around the loop a couple times, you know, around the oval a couple times, you know, both of them, and then hitting select loco, and then the stop button, or hits, you know, select loco, put the number in, and then hit enter, you know, and then hit the stop button. Matter of fact, 9066, I backed her off the ramp, or off my blue deal there. I backed her, or she backed off the ramp herself, and then I had 9066 in there, and I just went ahead and stopped it, and then I let her sit there for a few minutes, and I let her run, and both her and 9041 did perfect. I did go ahead and get me a tier 4, and this is, I guess you could call her the fancy dude. I got this tier 4 Gevo, which is from Scale Trains. And what's kind of weird is it's got all this fancy bahula hula la hala bahula on it, painted fancy, and got all this stuff or whatever and that. But this engine happens to be cheaper than what the Cato lock sound. But actually, this engine here, I put it on the track, and I even cleaned the wheels. I put it on the track, and I pressed, you know, to let her start out. Speed step 1, she didn't move. I went to speed step 2, she thought about it. I went to speed step 3, and she thought, I guess I'll move now. And she kind of creeped forward, and so I let her run around a couple laps or whatever, and that, with no cars or anything like that. And I thought, hell, I'm gonna pull cars. I'm gonna put something on her. So I put some cars on her. Excuse my language, but I put some cars on her, pulled her around, and then I changed her from 128 speed steps to 28 speed steps. She seemed to do a little bit better at 28 speed steps. She's got a little bit more, at 128, she seems to have a little bit more jitter, you know, a little bit of kind of, or like she just doesn't want to whatever. She doesn't just seem like she acts like she wants to do anything. But at 28 speed steps, she's a little bit more, you know, kind of a little bit more productive. She just, you know, feels like she wants to do something. But still, at speed step 1 and 2, and then up to 3, she just doesn't seem to want to roll out. Now, she sounds good, and she looks good. I just kind of wish she was like the Cato. I mean, she doesn't have that motor smell like some of my Atlases do, but, and I'm not disappointed with the engine. I just kind of wish she would do more. And it might be because, and I just don't know this, that it might be a stiff gear, or, you know, mechanism in there that just needs to be lubed. I mean, it might need to be lubed up a little bit more, you know, coming from the factory or something like that, and it didn't get, you know, lubricated enough or something, and it might be just needs to be lubricated. So that might be the case. But anywho, this engine's not too bad, but I'll tell you this right now, this engine here, 9041, 9066, and 9088, I guarantee you what, they all run super good. My 1943, she sounds good, she runs okay, but but this engine has got the same problem as what my, and I may go a little bit extra on this. She's doing the same thing as what the 1943 I got back in 2019. Let's do that. And we're going to go a little bit extended here. I want you to follow along, so please, you know, if you like my channel, subscribe and all that good stuff, and follow me into the next one here. So we're going to go to the next one, and I'll explain a little bit on the 1943. Okay, on the 1943, back in 2019, I said 19 something or whatever, and I'm thinking 19 when I was in my childhood. But when back in 2019, this is before COVID hit, and I'm not making fun of it, but I'm just kind of I'm kind of tired and I'm kind of whatever here. But before COVID hit, 2019 being good, 2018, I think I got this actually just about the end of 2018. I think that's when I got this engine. It might have been in January, February. But anyway, I got the engine that you're seeing right there, the 1943. Got it up at Spring Creek, and the same thing I had with that one. The same thing going on with this one. Everything runs okay going down the track and everything. But when you hit F9, engine hold, like on this 9041, 9066, 9088, when you hit F9 engine hold, like if you're setting, you can idle it, you can idle up, you can idle down. If you're rolling down the track and you've got, say, like 30 cars or 40 cars, and you want to pretend that you're, pulling a little bit something, you want to increase that, that gut a little bit, and you want to make her sound like she's, going, she's pulling, sound like she's getting with it. You can do that. But with this 1943, you hit F9 and she's gonna take off on her own. What I found out back in 2019, this was coming from Alec at Lock Sound. He told me that when Kelly at Cotto programmed these engines, he put a generic programming in it, meaning it didn't really have any functions. It definitely didn't have the F9 function, and when you went to hit F9, the engine would just like, it's just like taking it off, like it's trying to, like a ghost engine is trying to do whatever. And he said for some people, if they don't know what's going on, it'll scare the hell out of them, because they're thinking, what's going on with my engine? What's wrong? Well, my first 1943 Spirit did that. And I pulled mine off the track, because I was thinking, hey, what is going on here? And so I called Cotto. And of course, when you talk to them, you either talk to Alex or you talk to, you talk to Alex or you talk to, trying to think of his name. And I used to know him all by heart. I know one's Alec, one's Paul. Let's see, Paul, Alec, and then there's I think another Paul, and then there's Kelly, and then there's oh darn it, I'm trying to think of his name, and I'll figure it out and I'll put it in the deal. But anyway, when you call them and you tell them what's going on or whatever, and that they'll go, well, I don't think we can do that. We don't do that type of thing. And I thought, well, why not? You guys programmed it from the start and you screwed it up. Why can't you fix it? Well, we don't do that kind of stuff. Okay. And so then I thought, all right, who am I going to call? I just can't. I could take it back to Spring Creek. And sometimes, Dave and them are good about taking stuff back, but sometimes they get a little testy about, or get a little tickish about taking stuff back. And I don't know if they'll watch this video or not, but sometimes they do. And I don't have nothing against them, but, when something's not going right, and it doesn't matter who you are, when you don't feel like something, whatever, unless you have a way to program the engine yourself with a lock programmer and a computer, you're basically stuck at what you got. And like I say, the engine runs fine. If I put it on the track and run it around, I can slow it down, speed it up, and do whatever in that, except for when I hit F9. And then that's when the engine goes, off ghostly. So, what did I do? I called Alec at Lock Sound. And I said, Alec, this is Alan. And at that time, I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything like that. I just said, this is Alan. And I said, what do I do, Alec? And he said, what it sounds like to me and what it's doing by pressing F9, it was programmed with a generic programming. And so he said it was just, he said it could have been at the time that the decoders were put in. The person, which is Kelly Dunsford, was putting in so many or whatever and that, he was just dumping in whatever and that, and he really wasn't paying attention to what should have been programmed in it. He should not have programmed it with a generic code to cause the engine to have the problem like it is. Because like I say, some people that gets these engines or whatever and that, they'll say, what's going on? And they may end up taking them back. So I said, Alec, what can I do? And he said, you can do this, Alan. He said, you can pull the shell and pull the decoder out and send the decoder to us. Or if you catch us at a train show, we can put it on a programming a programming track. Sorry. You can put it on a programming track, or we'll put it on a programming track, and we could program it for you. He said, if you send it back to the facility, we have to have you pull the shell, pull the decoder, which that would be a mess to do that, and send it in to us, and then we can program it. And then we'll send it back to you. Then you got to figure out how to put it back into its frame. Which, if you look at the decoders on the SD70s, they're kind of, at a little bit of an awkward deal, and I don't think I want to pull that out of there. There's an option that I could do to fix this, and what some of you guys could do, unless you have a lock programmer and a computer, if you could find a 9041 or a 9066, and this might sound odd, but if you find an extra one, if you already have one and you want to fix, if you have that problem with the 1943, you could get a 9041, or like I say, a 9066, or maybe even a 9088, or an SD70 Ace that doesn't have the issue. Pull the shell on the 1943 and then put that on there. And then just kind of hold off until you see, go to a train show that the Lock Sound guys are at, and then have it programmed. And, do it that way. Like I say, you're actually spending a little more money to get an engine like the 9041, but you're getting an engine that the drive hole and everything works on it, and basically you're just changing out the shell. You could change out the trucks, you can change out the tank and stuff like that, or just leave it armor gray and and that's what I'm thinking about doing. Pull the shell, put it on there. It might look funny because it's on the armor gray, but hey, it's one way of fixing it. So, that's something for you guys, if you guys are in the same boat I am, if you've got the 1943, but if you got a lock programmer, you're pretty well good to go. You can, if you know how to program stuff and do whatever with it, hey, that's awesome, because you can go in there, program it, change it, do anything, that you can think of, have the engine dim its lights when you're in DPU or something like that, or any kind of thing. But anyway, I'm gonna go, and like I say, that's my 9041, 9066, 9088, and then I also got me a North Platte 401 service. And let's see if you can see this. This is a Union Pacific UPP 24567, assigned to Steam Special Service. And this is my UP400. So, hope you guys enjoy this video. Please subscribe, like, and share. And tell me what you think. And we thank you for watching RDA N Scale. See ya.